Talking about mortgages again, on that same topic, I wanted a quick little refresher course for people that are listening on loan limits. So we still get that question a lot: is what's the loan limit on FHA? What's the loan limit on a conventional? What's the loan limit on a VA? For somebody that's out there thinking about getting a mortgage, depending on the price bracket that they're in, it'll give them a little bit of information.
Yeah, so basically, starting with FHA, and it varies from county to county, but in our immediate counties, it's going to be 271,050, so and it's a 3.5% down payment. So you can
about a 280-ish purchase price, roughly.
Exactly. If you want to make the minimum down payment, you can still qualify for FHA in that price range. Conventional is going to be 417. So if you go above that 417 mark, it's going to be a jumbo loan. So you can still get it.
So you can do a $500,000 house with 80-something grand down, and you're still conventional. But you start to get above that, unless you put in your own capital, you get out of the conventional and into jumbo.
Exactly, we go into jumbo, correct.
Okay.
And then VA you can do a lot of things on VA, but up to 417 with no money down. If you go above that, it's going to be just a very slight down payment, just based on your eligibility with the VA.
And they have a jumbo VA as well. Obviously, that's a great program. We see that a lot locally with officers, where they have a higher income, but they don't want to put the money down, so they can qualify for that program.
VA is a great program. There's a lot of flexibility in VA guidelines across the board, whether it's credit, loan amounts, everything. VA is a great program.
One thing we run into a lot with consumers, and I'm sure it happens in Tampa, and it's obviously in Sarasota pretty common too. People that want to buy condos and townhomes, that want to use a loan, and whether it's VA, FHA, or conventional. The one, I think, obviously townhomes generally are fee simple, so you're not going to have as many problems. Knowing the difference between a condo and a townhome is usually going to have the word lot, block, or unit in the legal description. That's a simple way to almost always know the difference. A condo is going to have, the word condo or condominium, and usually an undivided interest, some sort of language to that will lead someone. So if you don't know if it's a condo or a townhome, that's a simple tip to tell you how. But a lot of condos can't qualify for certain loan products, and I think that's
there's a big difference. So basically, there are rules for condominiums in mortgages, and they apply to the country. However, in Florida, they're completely different. So we have we have very different rules than anywhere else in the country, and condos are just a different animal. There's a lot of different nuances that go on with them, as far as checking out the budget, making sure it's in place, making sure that there's not so many delinquencies and whatnot. So condos need to be vetted out a little bit more. Townhomes, you're generally not going to run into any issues. FHA, VA, doesn't matter.
But condos, they may qualify for VA, FHA. They may qualify for conventional. They may not qualify for either one of them, depending on reserves in the homeowners association, delinquency rates, construction, concerns. Percentages of investors that own, and how much are rentals, how much are owner occupied. Is there I know there used to be, and if there is, I want to put it up on our social channels if you guys know. Is there a link where you can go online now with either FHA or VA and see if a condo association is approved?
There is. I believe it's HUDgov.
Can we find that direct? Could you guys find that direct link and send it to me? Because I'll put it up. We'll make a post about it, because I think that's great information for people to know. Yeah, this community's good or not good. And then, and even if it's not, that doesn't mean it can't get through an approval. You guys have done a great job with getting some condo associations approved in the past.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So FHA is going to have very, very, very limited resources on that at the moment. Conventional, even if it's not eligible for Fannie Mae delivery, basically a normal conventional loan, there are still ways to do that. It's called non-warrantable condos. We do a ton of them. I think we've done a ton of them for your team. So there are definitely ways, just because they don't appear on this list, doesn't necessarily
not. It's just, we know that list is good for the most part, unless there's been a change.
For FHA, right. Yeah. And they're updated all the time. You kind of have to, it's a government website, so you have to.
I knew there used to be about a handful in South Tampa. I used to know them by heart, but I'm sure they're probably changed by now. And that's one of the things that's really important that I've preached to the developers we've spoke about. And certainly, when I speak to Mr. Vinnick, it's something that we'll relay. That's a really big piece with any condos getting built downtown, that they need to shore that up from the beginning. They need to have whatever up in reserves. They need to have the association docs set up that limit a certain number of investors. They need to do all the things ahead of time, so that when they start moving people in, those can get approved.
And as they're doing the docs, you should partner with a lender to kind of review the docs to make sure this condominium is going to be Fannie Mae approved, or
right.
Or
It's
even
a,
to
it's
take
a
it to the
big
next
thing.
level. Yeah, it's a big deal.
That's
Yeah.
that's a really important thing to know. So obviously, if you're a builder or developer out there and you're looking at getting involved in any kind of multifamily projects, before you ever put a for sale sign up and think about selling them, make sure you have the financing lined up and you've gone through all the steps to get Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA approval. Because that will move the needle big time in terms of your sales efforts. So we're going to be back continuing. We got the last segment of the show after a quick break here on 970 WFLA.